Hey, how's it going? Back on Minecraft again today. I was trying to make the inside of my house look a little bit better. I think I'm getting somewhere. I'm really trying to brainstorm how to decorate in this version of Minecraft because like there's not carpets, there's nothing. But yeah, that'll be our little project for today. I wanted to expand upon an era of my life that has been the main topic of pretty much almost any video I've made on this channel so far. So I guess without getting too far into it, because I think a lot of it's really personal, I've had a very unstable childhood. I moved around a lot. For a single school year, it was not uncommon that I would think that was my last time ever seeing my friends, and I would, be moving away the following summer. And I think this definitely affected me in, I'm sure, many ways that a therapist could tell me. But I was just very unstable growing up. I remember from 2018 to 2020, I moved maybe about 4 times or 5 times. And that's due to so many things that were just going on at the time. But I think when you're a kid or a teenager, I think you're too young to process emotions. And I don't think it really hits you until many years after. And for me, that was 2020. I think 2020 was obviously, whenever anyone brings up, oh, it was such a rough year, whatever. But for me, it actually wasn't really because of COVID. I mean, obviously, I don't think that helped, but the years leading up to COVID, and I think then being isolated inside were like a perfect storm. It was like a snowball effect. It sort of led me to spiral. I mentioned before that 2020 was sort of the year I was really, truly alone, and I lost so many of my friends. Because I was so unstable and moving around all the time, I think, really desperate to keep a hold of people in my life that I cared about. But at the same time, I was super moody and angry, all the anger issue stuff that I've talked about in previous videos on this channel. And that, I think, caused me to then lose those friends, and it kind of made me lose my mind a little bit. Because after all these years of moving around, and now being, completely isolated, I couldn't see my school friends, and all the online friends I was talking to were sort of starting to move away and do other things with their life, and it really affected me. And, I think I was depressed leading up to this as well, but I think this was an age where I was really starting to come to terms with how I was actually feeling, which was something I wasn't really able to do before. And I remember I was sitting at my desk. I don't remember what I was doing. I literally could have been, playing Minecraft or something like that, or TF2 maybe at the time. And I was looking down at my hands, and I didn't feel real. I didn't feel like I was actually there. I felt like a spectator. It's always been very hard to sort of describe. Through Google searching and trying to look stuff up, I assume I was depersonalizing or derealizing. There's a couple of different terms for what I could have been going through. But I remember, to me, this was so scary, and it was so eye-opening, because I had never had this happen before. As a kid, going through so many traumatic things, I was always able to compartmentalize and sort of push it aside and, shrug my shoulders at it as long as I was, eating and being able to go to school and stuff. It wasn't that big of a deal. But I think during 2020, as I was going through these formative years and the bad stuff just kept happening and happening, I think my mind sort of had enough. I sort of lost it a little bit. And I remember when this happened, it like opened my eyes. It was like, what am I doing with my life moment? Or rather, what is going on? I think leading up to, puberty and stuff like that, you put pretty much all your faith blindly into parents and the figures around you. And in my life, respectfully to those people, they let me down. I never, I guess, really felt stable. And it affected me in a way that I wasn't really able to come to terms with until this very moment. And this is a little bit of a trigger warning about like suicide and really dark stuff like that, so if you don't want to hear about that, you can click off the video. That's completely fine. And I've said this before, but I'm not someone who is suicidal. At this moment in my life, this was the first time when I was like, I get it. And leading up to this, I admit this was a very selfish opinion, but I was always of the opinion of, suicide is selfish. I just don't understand. No, if you just work hard or stick in there, of course it's going to get better eventually. But during this moment, I understood. I got it. I understood why people felt this way. And that was the first time I think I was truly ever to be in someone else's shoes, to understand what it was like for somebody else that was suffering or going through it. For me, it took so much, I mean, in reality, like mental torment. Maybe that sounds dramatic, but it was awful. Everything I was going through, and it took all of that for me to be at such a low that I finally understood what these people were going through. And that made me gain empathy in a way. Not that I was like a psychopath before, or, you know, whatever the term would be for that. But this was truly the first time I was able to put myself in someone else's shoes and truly be empathetic for people who I was surrounded by beforehand, because before I had family members and I had friends that would, you know, really struggle with mental health stuff, but while I was ironically struggling with it as well, I wasn't able to come to terms with that, and I always sort of never understood, and I was passing judgment and not being able to understand. Side note, I hope these floors don't look too ugly. I know we're talking about some pretty serious stuff, but I really just wanted to use these slabs, and this is like the only way I could think of. I'm sure someone in the comments can tell me a much better way of doing it. You know, after all this happened, things actually started to get better. I think sort of coincidentally, I started to hang out with friends. I remember me and some school friends who went to like this, I think it was my friend's birthday party, and we sort of went to like this this lake for a couple days, and we hung out and stuff like that. And that, I think, gave me some time and some space away from the computer and away from everything that was happening around that time to breathe a little bit. And obviously it didn't fix all my issues, but, you know, then leading up to that, those same friends, we started to, you know, skateboard more. And my now current best friend, me and him actually started to get a lot closer. We knew each other before and we're still close, but I think around this time, me and him really started to get closer. And it was sort of, like I keep mentioning, a perfect storm to really help me grow and realize a lot of things that maybe I should have realized a little bit sooner. But, you know, it took all of this really unfortunate and hard stuff that I wouldn't wish upon anybody to make me realize a lot of this stuff. And it's something that I still feel bad about. And it's something that makes me think, like, I really wish I gained this sort of, I don't know if I'd call it mental maturity or whatever earlier, because I would have been able to be there for a lot of my friends that were going through similar stuff, and I wasn't able to help them. And it makes me feel bad, even though, you know I was a kid and there wasn't really anything I could do about it, especially with my circumstances and the things going on. But it's hard not to feel bad about that, no matter how much I reassure myself, the people that I talk to reassure myself that there was really nothing I could have done. I don't know if I'll ever not kind of feel bad about that stuff. And at the same time, it's kind of hard for me to take credit for some of the personal growth that I went through, because it was more so I was just a spectator waiting for it to happen rather than me making all these decisions by myself. But regardless, they happened, and it allowed me to gain this new perspective. I feel like through this whole video, all I was able to do was mine out this room. I did start a farm over here, which I have to put a door because there are no gates in this version of Minecraft. Looks a little stupid, but I've heard this is a solution that some people do, so. Oh, and up here I do have a nether portal. I'll probably use this for something else as well, and I'll probably make this look a little bit more fancy, but yeah. I haven't actually gone into the nether portal yet, so we'll do that maybe next time, or I'll do that off camera, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know if there's too much of a point to this video. I just kind of wanted to talk about it because I think it was a very important time in my life, and maybe other people went through similar stuff like this. And if so, I salute to you, because those were definitely some of the hardest points in my life, and maybe ever. I don't know if it'll ever get worse than that. Life has been testing me since then to really try and make it maybe a little bit worse, but so far we've been doing a little bit better. Thank you guys so much for watching. Got Twitter and stuff in the description. In my next video, I'm going to try to make about something a little bit lighthearted, because these videos have been depressing me and making me sad. But I wanted to talk about this stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching. Twitter and stuff in the description. And yeah, see you guys.